then once you've typed your name, you don't have to stay here. This is optional for you once you've checked in with me to stay. But I am going to talk through the work and I'll go through a few examples if you just want to hear what you've got to do. So I will present my screen now and just pop over to our Google Classroom. So here's the classwork that I've set for you guys. And today is substitution. So these other lessons, 1, 2 and 3 is due today. You've got a little bit longer to do lesson 4. Let's have a look at today. So one person's already handed it in, fantastic. But today's lesson, it's just a chance to consolidate some of your algebra or algebraic skills and catch up on any work from this week or last week. So first of all, I want you to use the answers that I've posted here to mark your work from yesterday. Now, obviously, only if you've done this work already. Please don't just go and copy the answers. I won't know. You're the only person who will know if you've done that or not. But please don't, because it will impact on your learning. And here's the extension sheet, the answers as well. So have a look at those. Mark them if you've got it right, or if you understand where you went wrong. Fantastic. If you are not sure why you've gone wrong, then please send me an email, or you can jump into the chat to ask me any questions. So that's task number 1. Then I've said to do this substitution task. So I'll just click on the link down here. Now on My Maths you'll have to log in, so you'll be putting your personal username and password there. If there's anyone who doesn't know theirs, again, type it in the chat and I'll make sure that I zip over and I can show you all the usernames and passwords in a moment. In fact, I'll probably do that anyway in case there's someone who's not here. So work out the value of the expressions for the values shown. So this is going to be a bit of an interactive bit with you now. So I'll give you some time to think, and then I'll ask you guys when I count from 3 to turn your microphones off and shout out the answer, and then put your mics back off again. So let's just start with this first one. So a minus 3 when a equals 9. So a bit of thinking time. 3, 2, 1.
5.
Okay, I can hear 5 and 6 there. The answer is 6. Okay, so 9 minus 3 is 6. Alright, let's jump down to the third one. So n plus 7 over 2 for n is 31. So a bit of thinking time, then I'll count you in. It does say no calc, but if you do need a calculator to do this, try it without one. If you need one to do it, then you can use a calculator. Alright, so have your answer ready? 3, 2, 1.
19.
19. Good, I heard somebody say 19. So 31 plus 7 is 38, divided by 2 is 19. Okay, and let's try the last one here. So we've got 6x, which means 6 times x, and then plus 1 when x is 6. 3, 2, 1.
37.
Wonderful. I was expecting to hear lots of voices shouting that out, but one voice shouted out and got the right answer. Well done. All right, now let's have a look over on this second part. Alina and Aris are buying a new TV. They found these formulae on the internet. So they look a bit confusing, but T Max and T Min are just the biggest and smallest recommended sizes for a TV. So the biggest size you should have is 3D, so 3 times the distance that you'll be viewing from, divide that by 4 and then add 1. And the minimum TV size you should have is the distance from the TV, the viewing distance, divided by 3 minus 2. And they're going to sit 72 inches. Now an inch is bigger than a centimetre. If you put your thumb like this, most people, if you go this distance here between the end of your thumb and your knuckle is about 1 inch. Okay, so that's about 1 inch, and it's usually about 2.5 centimetres. Exactly 2.52 centimetres. Okay, let's have a look back here. Right, the maximum then is 3 times 72 divided by 4 plus 1. Okay, you might want to get up your calculator to help you with this, because 3 times 72, actually, maybe not calculator, maybe just a pen and paper would do it. Okay, so, oops, to do this, I do 3 times 72, 3 times 72 equals, and then plus, what was the formula again? Just plus, divided by 4 first. Divided by 4, and then plus 1. So my maximum TV size there would be 55 inches. Now guys, I want you to use the minimum formula, so D divided by 3 minus 2, to calculate what's the smallest TV size they should buy. Okay. I'm going to count you in if anyone has got it. 3, 2, 1.
22.
22, perfect. Good, so 72 divided by 3 is 24, take away 2 is 22. Okay, so we'll just mark that, and all the ones that we got right are there. Now the second question is very similar, but now we've got the expressions down the side, and the, I wonder if I can write, so I'm just trying to write on the screen. There we go. So we've got the expressions down the side here, and then you're going to substitute different values in. So we've got a negative number, positive number, and then 0. So it's up to you which order you do these in. It might be easiest to kind of go across that way, picking one expression and then doing the different values of x, or you might prefer to keep one value of x and then go down, filling those in. I would like you guys right now to do that one, and that one. Okay, just have a little think. Even better if you've got a pen and paper with you, you can try and, well, you can use a pen and paper to work out those answers. So I'm just going to stop for a moment, give you a bit of thinking time to do that, probably about 30 seconds thinking time now. Okay, so I hope you guys have had a chance to do that. So I'm going to go through these answers now. So the first one, 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. And then if we add on 4, negative 10 plus 4 is negative 6. So a little bit of a reminder of some of the numeracy we were doing at the beginning of the year, where we're doing multiplications with negatives and adding and subtracting negatives. Okay, next one, we've got 3 minus 5x. So, oops. I'm going to go back onto here. So 3 minus 5x, I just wanted to clear that. 3 minus 5, and this time x is 15. So 3 times 15, sorry, 5 times 15 is 75, and 3 minus 75 gives us a negative answer of negative 72. Okay, and then finally, this one was the one I said we'd do, so 3x plus 10 divided by 5. So 3 times 0 is just 0, plus 10 makes 10, divided by 5 makes 2. So if you got those 3 answers correct, well done. They were negative 6, negative 72, and 2. All right, let's get up there then, and we'll go back to our classwork. The lesson. So that's basically it for today. So you're going to mark your work and you're going to do that substitution. If you have any work to catch up with last week, then the rest of the lesson is for you to do that. And then there's a couple of optional things. So there's the game we looked at yesterday that you can have a bit of a play on. So if you were on the lesson yesterday, if you've watched the video, you'll have seen this before, and you can work through the different levels. It gets harder. You get negative numbers as you move up, and then you get decimal numbers as you move up further, and then you get negative decimal numbers and squares and divides, and it gets harder as you go along, so that would be really good practice. And the other extension is the substitution 2, which is quite similar to the one we've just looked at, but it's with multiplying as well. So you can see you've got some slightly harder expressions down here, and then you've got multiple letters and pronumerals with different values. And on question 2, you've also got some negatives there as well. So if you think you can do that, then I would really like you to have a go at that. But your priority is to catch up on any work that's outstanding first. Okay, what I'd like you guys to do now is, if you've got any questions, please can you pop them in the chat. You've already put your names. If you didn't know you needed to put your name in here, and I can see that someone said they've forgotten their username and password, so that's what I'll do now. I'm going to pop over to My Maths here, and for anyone who's forgotten their username and password, I'll get those up on the screen now. Just bear with me 1 second. If anyone doesn't know their username and password, they are here, so I can't quite get all of that in the screen, but Davika, I think you said you'd forgotten yours, so that's there, 11134XXV, and then everyone else's. I'm just going to scroll through everybody's, so you can go back and have a look at the recording to find yours if you need it. Alright, so let's have a look back at substitution 1, question 2. I think I need to go back and click on this again. So, Jenny, do you mean this question? You might have to, I can't see the chat while I'm looking at this screen, so you'll need to turn your mic off and kind of talk to me on this, because...
Yes, thanks. Because I don't understand how you're supposed to do this.
Alright, so, should we just talk about this first one? So basically, in this box, when I go to the side, it says 4x plus 8, and above it says x equals minus 5. So I take the value, x equals minus 5, and I substitute it into this expression. Okay, so that would mean I do 4, and where it says x, I do the value minus 5. So 4 times minus 5, and then plus 8.
Oh no, I know how to do these kind, but then I don't get the layout, how you're supposed to get the answer. I know the first one because you told us how to do it, but
okay.
But x is 15, and then minus negative 2, and
so this one, like, what would we do there? Do you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so here it's the expression has changed. So you'll do 16 questions, or sorry, 12 questions when you do it. So depending which box you're in, whichever expression is on the left and whichever number is above, that's what you work with for that box. So this one, it would be minus 2 minus 2 times x. So here x is 15, so 2x is 30. So it's minus 2 minus 30, which would be minus 32. Okay? Here would be minus 2 minus 0, because 2 times 0 is 0, so that would be minus 2. Here would be minus 2 minus 2 times negative 5. So I've got a lot of negatives going on here. For this one, I would do minus 2 minus, and I'll put it in brackets just to make it easier for me to follow, 2 times negative 5. So that is negative 2 minus negative 10. Then I remember a negative makes a positive, so that's minus 2 plus 10. And then you need to think about your number line. So if you start from minus 2 and you add 10, you actually end up at 8. Okay? So it is quite tough, and you do have to do a little bit of a bit of a reminder of your positives and negative skills. So it's good revision of that as well. Now, has that helped a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys.